The Knicks are 1-5. Want to take this opportunity to welcome a couple of new cable systems to Madison Square Garden Network. New Milford Cablevision, Housatonic Cablevision, and Mid-Connecticut Cablevision, three fine cable systems, and their president, Paul Hancock. Welcome aboard the Madison Square Garden Network. Coming up, Knicks basketball here at Madison Square Garden Saturday night. The Kansas City Kings will be here to take on the Knicks. Tuesday, it's the Washington Bullets, and then a week from Saturday, the Cleveland Cavaliers come in to take on the Knicks. Several other games in the NBA tonight. We will be keeping tabs on that throughout the course of the evening, as well as games in the National Hockey League. This one of several games, as I mentioned, in the NBA. And the New York Knicks will resume play on Saturday night. The other games tonight, the LA Clippers are at Washington, Atlanta's at Dallas, Seattle at Houston, Portland at Denver, Cleveland at Phoenix, and the LA Lakers are at Golden State. You take a look at Bernard King sitting down on the bench. One major bright spot for the New York Knicks. Bernard King, the leading scorer currently in the NBA. There's Kevin Lockery, the coach of the Chicago Bulls, in his second year as head coach of the Bulls. Now we are set for the singing of our national anthem, and we will take you to center court, where Dominic Cosa will sing our national anthem. The singing of our national anthem. Real good crowd on hand here. Certainly a lot of people may have been here in preseason play when we had a big crowd when the Bulls were here, featuring Michael Jordan, and a lot of those fans have returned. We are set for the introductions of both teams. Let's go to public address announcer John Condon.
Tonight it's the Knicks against the Chicago Bulls, and here are the starting lineups. For the Bulls, at the guards, number 3, Enos Watley. Number 23, Michael Jordan. At center, number 39, Caldwell Jones. And at the forwards, number 0, Orlando Woolridge. And number 32, Steve Johnson. Ronnie Lester is on the injured list for the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago trainer is Mark Feil. Their assistant coaches, Fred Cotter, Bill Blair, and Mike Thibault. And their head coach, Kevin Lockery. And now here they are, the New York Knickerbockers. At the guards, number 2, Rory Sparrow. Number 6, Trent Tucker. At center, number 42, Pat Cummings. And at the forwards, number 1, Ken Bannister. captain of the Knicks, number 30, Bernard King. Bill Cartwright, Truck Robinson, and Eddie Wilkins are unable to play because of injuries, and Marvin Webster is on the injured list. The Knicks trainer is Mike Saunders. Their assistant coaches, Richie Adebato and Rick Pitino, and their head coach, Hubie Brown. The officials...
All right, the Knickerbockers back home and happy to be back home again as they take on the tough Chicago Bulls. And if you look at the starting lineups, Butch.
And you see Bernard King will go against Woolridge. Bannister will go against Steve Johnson, who has become an unsung hero with this Bulls ball club. Cummings against Caldwell Jones. Sparrow will start out on Watley. Tucker will have the assignment of guarding Michael Jordan. I'm glad that's him and not me. The officials, Mike Mathis and Bill Oates.
Cummings got the tip to Bernard King to lay it up and in. And the Knicks get off in 3 seconds. They lead 2-0. Watley, as Butch called, was Sparrow on him. Bernard King on Woolridge. I'd like to make Bernard work a little bit on defense. Woolridge had a double pump. And the rebound comes right back to Michael Jordan to miss a layup.
And partially blocked by Pat Cummings from behind.
Steve Johnson with a rebound. Steve Johnson has done a terrific job with this club. He leads the club in offensive rebounds. He's the guy they got from Kansas City for Reggie Theus. And good penetration by Watley. Now Watley is a good point guard. Maybe overlooked because of all the stars in this club. Not overlooked by Kevin Lockery, though.
No, he isn't. Ennis Watley last year was the youngest player in the NBA, and he was 6th in assists. So he knows what to do as far as running an offense, and that time he penetrated and he drew the foul, and he just hit the first of 2 free throws. A good-looking little player.
Watley's tied the game at 2. Sparrow, who's had a good start to this 1984-85 season. As we say that, he cannot get the pass through to Bernard King, where he has averaged close to 10 assists a game the last 3 games. And generally, he's played very well.
His floor game has been excellent, and he has been shooting the ball extremely well, Rory Sparrow.
Woolridge is, Caldwell Jones was open because Cummings came over to help out, and the Knicks were fortunate Chicago didn't score that time. Rory Sparrow, Watley defensively. Bannister on top and a foul underneath. Maybe an illegal defense.
The foul is on Woolridge. He was holding Bernard King as King went down to establish position. It didn't go over well with Kevin Lockery, but that's the first foul on Woolridge.
Game tied at 2. Jim Carvelis and Butch Beard, Madison Square Garden. Played a minute 15. Into Cummings now against Caldwell Jones. Steve Johnson. Cummings had to pick him up. Now Bannister will pick him up. Steve Johnson with Bannister in low.
Nice little head fake by Watley. It froze Sparrow then, and then he hit the 15-foot jumper. So Watley has shown that he can not only hit the jumper.
They had men on him too, Butch.
Yes.
And you know, he hit a tough shot. 4-2 Chicago. First lead of the game for the Bulls. In and out from Cummings. Watley pushes it up. Woolridge and Orlando, who got up the floor very quickly. That's a strong part of his game. He can run. 6-2 Chicago. 20-second timeout called by the Knickerbockers, Butch.
And Hubie Brown calls the 22nd, I think simply because on the offensive end, the ball club seems to be out of whack. They are running around not knowing what they want to do, and Hubie just wants to get the ball club settled down on the offensive end. Now, what they must do, if when they're in the offensive end, is try to get some boards, get to the offensive boards. If they don't, Chicago, they have the good jumpers, and they can get out and run.
Robinson keeping our statistics here as always. A good job, and Jerry Taylor in the control room. Welcome to Knicks basketball, only our second home game of the year. Knicks convincingly over Detroit. Seemed like an eternity ago.
It really does.
And then the tough 5-game trip, Butch.
But they went on the road and they had some close games, except the game down in Houston. So that to me is a sign that there may be a good ball club as Jordan comes up with the steal and the stuff.
8-2. Chicago now leads by 6. Louis Orr is going to get in the game right now. Bernard King a miss. Bannister couldn't get the rebound. And Steve Johnson is dead.
Now, Jim, I tell you what I've been impressed with so far with the Chicago forwards. You know that Woolridge can run the floor. Steve Johnson that time filled the right lane extremely quick. And he got down the floor and he was fouled by Tucker as he went up for the shot. And that's one of the reasons why Steve Johnson shoots such a high percentage. He shoots 63% from the field. And that time he got down the floor so he could get himself a good high percentage shot and was fouled.
Steve Johnson 1 out of 2 from the line. So the Knicks scored the opening points off the tip. Bernard King scoring 3 seconds into the game. They haven't scored since. And now a foul call against the Knicks. Bernard King was pushing off.
I tell you, Caldwell Jones was standing right there to see if he could block the shot. And people who know a little bit about professional basketball knows that Caldwell Jones was one of the reasons why Philadelphia had good ball clubs when he was with them. He's a great defensive player and shot blocker.
King knocked it away from Woolridge. Watley, quick step to the baseline. Tough shot. Bernard battling for the rebound and went out of bounds. Belongs to the Knicks.
Knicks just have to see if they can get themselves a little up for the game. They seem to be in a funk, so to speak. They haven't been able to get themselves into the game or into the flow.
Sparrow a miss, and the Knicks are ice cold. And here's Michael Jordan handling the ball. And now they say he didn't handle it legally.
What did he do?
He carried it.
If he did, it was a surprise to me. It looked like he handled it pretty well.
Louis Orr now against Steve Johnson. Cummings, this is his shot. 9-4, Bulls by 5.
And a nice little down pick from Louis Orr, which freed up Cummings for the little 15-footer. He buried it. Miscommunications on the defensive end by the Chicago Bulls that time. Oh, no.
Michael Jordan double clutching on the reverse side of the board. That's 11-4 Chicago.
Well, you don't give the offensive player the baseline. The Knicks did, and then Jordan just hung in the air and hit a reverse layup. Made it look easy.
Bernard King a miss. And now a foul on Sparrow as he fouls Watley in the backcourt.
So far, Jim, we've played almost 5 minutes of basketball, and Chicago has been a most impressive ball club. As you see Michael Jordan right here take the baseline. King's in the air, scores. Louis Orr did not cut off the baseline. Trent Tucker was a step slow. Michael Jordan did his thing.
Steve Johnson. Tough move, boy. Johnson, big power forward move that time. Louis Orr not enough muscle to really handle him. 13-4, the Knicks down by 9. And Hubie Brown wants a timeout. Hubie complaining. He thought that Orr was knocked down on the last play. Well, he was, but the referee said it was legal. Knicks down by 9, 7:24 to play in the first period. Jordan's a complete player. He plays both ends of the floor.
And he just demonstrated there by playing the passing lanes. Comes up with the steal and the stuff. He scored 4 points, and both plays have been spectacular.
All right, the Knicks trail by 9. 7:19 to play in the first period. Slow start for the Knickerbockers. Louis Orr. Loose ball foul. It's going to be called against Chicago.
A loose ball foul charged against Steve Johnson.
Steve Johnson with a foul. Kevin Lockery looking on.
And right now, Chicago is playing good team defense on the Knicks.
Michael Jordan didn't pick up Trent Tucker as he came off the screen, the pick, and the Knicks are down by 7. Moore knocked it away from Steve Johnson. Orlando Woolridge cans a jump shot. And it's 15-6 Chicago on top.
Woolridge set up down low on the baseline and hit the little turn-away jumper that time. It was an impressive shot by Orlando Woolridge.
Woolridge with a rebound. Watley with the basketball to Jordan. Knicks knock it away from Michael. Michael Jordan cans a 16-footer. Jordan, who led the ACC, by the way, last year in three-point shooting percentage.
Well, I tell you what he's done that I didn't think he was able to do was hit the little 15 and 16-footer with consistency as Bernard King is fouled as he goes to the hoop. I did not believe that Michael Jordan had the ability, you know, as a rookie to hit that shot consistently, and he has so far early part of the year, and that's the most impressive part of his game. He's a tremendous athlete, and everybody knew that, but I didn't think that people, the scouts and the so-called experts, thought that he could hit that shot, the 15-footer, with consistency, and he has.
Well, Bobby Knight called him a great all-around basketball player. He can do it all. He's proving that early on. Last night in Detroit, he got in early foul trouble, didn't score a point in the first half, came out and scored 25 in the second.
Well, here's the pressure defense that the Knicks are applying against Chicago, and there's the lob pass to Woolridge and the dunk. That's one way of breaking pressure.
I was going to say, that's not a bad way. 19-8 Chicago by 11. 5:47 to play. Period number 1, Madison Square Garden. And the Knicks are off to a rocky start. Orr to the basket. And he drew the foul.
Followed by Steve Johnson.
Steve Johnson again. That's 2 on Steve Johnson.
Louis Orr using his quickness against Steve Johnson. Now, Johnson is a much bigger player, but Lewis, who was 15 feet from the hoop, faked the jumper, went right, and Johnson picked up his second foul. One thing that Johnson has a tendency to do, and that is to get into foul trouble, and I think he's going to leave the game as Quentin Daly comes in, so that means that Michael Jordan will play some small forward as you have Watley and Daly out at the guard. An impressive lineup.
Well,
Right
Kevin
there.
Lockery can do this now because of the Knicks' big man injury problems. They're not a big team, so he can play Michael Jordan at forward, no problem.
True. And he would probably get some forward time as it is anyway.
Yes. 19-10 now. Jordan, that was knocked away by Bernard King, and then Woolridge jammed it down. Bernard King knocked that away, but the ball came right to Woolridge. Chicago by 11.
And that's what you call being in the right place at the right time. Woolridge was, and he scored.
Stops and pops it, and the Knicks are down by 9 again.
And Jim, that was a tough shot by Cummings. He pulled up right in front of Caldwell Jones and hit a little 15-foot jump shot.
Jordan hits a jump shot.
There's the shot, Jim, that experts said he couldn't hit with consistency, and that time he just shook Bernard King back on his heels, pulled up, and hit the 15-footer.
Bernard King can't get the roll. Michael Jordan can get the rebound. They're going to call a blocking foul on Tucker.
Correct call. Nice little play by Ennis Watley. Jordan grabbed the rebound. He came up the floor, gave the ball to Watley. Watley started to penetrate, and Jordan was on his way to the hoop. Watley gave him the ball. Trent Tucker saw the play. He was just a step too slow, and the foul was called on him.
All right. Take a look at the size of the hands the next time we get a chance on Michael Jordan. Incredible hands, like Dr. J's. Now that was Jordan way over the top, and I believe he's going to get the foul.
First ball foul charged against Michael Jordan.
I really would like to see that because I think that he was on top of the ball and he was the one that knocked it over to.
I mean, we can't see him obviously now, but incredible size.
Well, the thing about Michael Jordan, not only are his hands big, and his hands are strong, he's a strong individual himself. You know, he looks much stronger than people give him credit for, and he's just an exceptional athlete. Now let's see if Jordan really fouls here. He goes up over the... See, there isn't much contact there, so that's really a break for the Knicks.
Louis Orr hit a pair from the line again. The Knicks are down by 9, 23-14.
And again,
Darrell Walker in the game for the Knicks now. He replaced Trent Tucker.
And again, the Knicks are applying pressure. Oh.
What a shot. Michael Jordan making it look easy. You know it isn't. 25-14, 11-point lead for the Bulls. Bernard King connects for the Knicks. Jordan's got 10 points already. 10 of the Chicago 25. And Woolridge can't miss. Woolridge now has 10 points.
Well, the people came to see Michael Jordan and Bernard King, especially on the defensive end. King is guarding Jordan, and there you see Jordan come over and get goaltending as he tried to block the shot. But on the offensive end, when the Knicks are on the offensive end, he is not playing Bernard King. Here you see King against Woolridge. The pass inside, the quick release right there. Here comes Jordan. That's a no-no. That's goaltending. 2 points for King.
Chicago by 9. Woolridge and Jordan both missed their first shots of the game, and they've hit their last 5. Each have hit their last 5. Orr knocked it away from Woolridge.
Well, Lewis, he finally figured out what Woolridge had been doing was pivot to the baseline, and that time Louis Orr knocked the ball away as timeout was called.
Timeout call, 3:13 to play in the first period. You're watching Knicks basketball, Madison Square Garden Network. Madison Square Garden. And a couple of guys from that were born in Brooklyn, New York going after each other.
Well, I tell you, that time Michael Jordan used a quick step to get by Cummings, and he just simply hung in the air and just kissed the ball off the glass with a little spin. That did look a lot like Dr. J.
That looks like Jordan. Knicks got lucky as Caldwell Jones couldn't hold the ball. Walker blew by Jordan. Bernard King with that great step to the basket. The Knicks are down by 7. Bernard King with a basket. Now somebody out there on that last replay said, what do you mean a guy from Brooklyn? That was Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was born in Brooklyn, New York. He lived there for 2 years and then moved to Carolina, but he is a native son, and a lot of people are going to be claiming him.
Got a lot of aunts and uncles already, cousins.
Butch Carter in the game. And a loose ball foul on Bailey.
Yes, and he did. He pushed in the back as he was going for the ball that time. James Bailey picked up what Hubie Brown would consider an unnecessary foul, and that's been a problem with James Bailey, getting in foul trouble early, not being able to play with any type of consistency.
Caldwell Jones shooting 2.
All right, Caldwell Jones to the line. Because of the injury problems, it's really hard for Hubie Brown to be substituting in units. So tonight he's sort of substituting individually. Orr came in the game early on for Bannister. Caldwell Jones 1 out of 2. Chicago by 8. But now the Knicks have King in the game with Orr. They have James Bailey in the middle, Walker and Carter the back line. Bernard again. Bernard King 28-22. The Knicks down by 6-12 for Bernard King.
Well, here's the matchup that the people were really looking for it. And did you see the baseline move by Michael Jordan over to Caldwell Jones for 2 points? Excuse me, I got excited, Jim. Just took a little play-by-play from you.
It's all right. 30-22 Chicago.
2 minutes.
Darrell Walker. And a foul inside. I think they were fouling Bernard King.
Quentin Daly picked up the foul. He threw a forearm at Bernard King as he was posting up. What happened was the guard went across to set the pick, and it was Daly's man, and he just stayed there and threw a little forearm, tried to help out his teammate, but he also picked up the foul as Corzine comes into the game, and Jones leaves. Caldwell.
You have a look now at the league's leading scorer, over 32 points a game. Bernard King.
Only shooting.
Larry Bird is second.
Only shooting 73% from the free throw line, Bernard King, and that's been his Achilles heel so far this year.
That's the first foul shot the Knicks have missed tonight, Butch. However, they're next to last in foul shooting in the NBA, behind ahead of only Washington, and that's been a big problem. Corzine traveled, and the Knicks down by 7, get it back with 1:46 to play in the first period. Grunfeld in the game for Bernard King. So Bernard leaves 13 points. Daly on Walker, Jordan on Grunfeld. Butch Carter is free. Daly went for the steal, didn't get it. Carter got 2. The Knicks are down by 5.
That was an excellent pass from Ernie Grunfeld that got the ball to Carter for the 2 points then.
What a jam by Woolridge. The second time they've broken the press with a Woolridge jam. And it's 32-25, Bulls by 7.
And Woolridge pointed to the hoop. He was showing where he wanted that ball, and he got it and slammed it right in.
Darrell Walker had to change his shot with that interior defense. And here's Michael Jordan. And Wes Matthews in the game hit the shot. That's not really Wes's game, but he got it down. 9-point Chicago lead.
And Wes Matthews has been picked up because Lester has been on the injured list, and he just ended up scoring, and Walker just turned the ball over.
That was a bad Darrell Walker pass. Quentin Daly a miss. And the Knicks couldn't get the rebound. Woolridge could.
Well, what happened that time, Daly penetrated the hoop, missed the shot. 3 Knicks stood there, did not seem to want the rebound. Woolridge ended up with it, went back up, and he was fouled. Right now, the Knicks are really lackluster, and they're down by 9 with 32 seconds left in the first quarter.
Jordan leaves the game, leaves with 10. Woolridge at the line. Orlando is 13 points now to tie Bernard King for high point man. When they asked Orlando Woolridge who the man he most admired was, you know what his answer was?
I don't know. Who was it?
My cousin, Willis Reed.
Well, that's a good guy to start off with. No question about it.
Bulls up by 11 again. Darrell Walker penetrating. Can't get it down again. And the Knicks are having trouble in the first period. They're down by 11 with 13 seconds. Chicago looks for the last shot. The man with the ball probably will take it, Quentin Daly, and he's not bad. And that's the end of 1. It was a Chicago first period. The Bulls take an 11-point lead over the Knicks after 1. From Madison Square Garden, this is New York Knicks basketball. Down by 11, and there's the shooting percentage, and the Bulls show you why they have an 11-point lead, 60% shooting.
Well, here you're going to see Bernard King working down low against Woolridge. He puts the shot up before Watley can come from behind and block the shot. Bernard King had an excellent first quarter, and you see the alley-oop right there from Jordan to Woolridge. That's high percentage.
Orlando leads this club in scoring, by the way. Woolridge averaging 24 points a game. His high game this year was 30. He's really developed into a terrific player.
You remember last year he was having an excellent season until he hurt his knee here against the Knicks, and he was leading the ball club in scoring then.
All right, Higgins from the outside. He's a good shooter. Didn't get it down that time. Grunfeld got it to Darrell Walker. Butch Carter's open. Nice pass. And he fouled Carter to Grunfeld. This unit at least looks like they want to move the ball around a little bit.
Well, this is the second unit that the Knicks are counting on to keep them within the game. Now, they will do a lot of pressing, hoping that they can create turnovers for easy baskets. When they get into the offensive end, they must depend upon each other in order to get a good shot. That time, the defense for the Bulls did not get back in time. Ernie Grunfeld received the ball. A bounce pass on the baseline and was fouled by Sidney Green. Hit the first of 2. As we are going to look at the press.
Ernie 1 out of 2. Corzine with a rebound. Carter got a hand on that release, but Wes Matthews with it. Darrell Walker with a steal. And a left-handed jam by Walker. I think Matthews had visions of going up for that. Matthews can jump, but Walker just jammed it down with the left hand. Better than the last jam he tried to pull off here at MSG, the opening game of the year. But he missed it. Here's Walker again. And Sidney Green, who's done a good job on the boards for Chicago early in the year, gets that rebound. And Corzine is fouled.
Man, you're looking at a real smart basketball player in Dave Corzine. Not a great jumper. That time the Knicks were trying to get into their pressure defense. There was an over everybody's head pass down to Quentin Daly, over the top pass. Daly pulled up. James Bailey went for the block. It freed up Corzine for the missed shot. He grabbed the rebound and was fouled. Dave Corzine, an excellent backup center. That's what he's been all of his career. And now he can play that role with Caldwell Jones starting.
Well, that was the problem last year. They tried to make him the starting center. He's not a starting center.
He played too many minutes. That was the big problem.
Right.
This way he can give you 20, 22 minutes a game and be an effective basketball player, as we have a lane violation.
Against Chicago. So the Knicks will get the ball down by 9.
Rod Higgins stepped into the lane too soon.
Rod Higgins was in the lane too soon. Darrell Walker with Matthews on him. Louis Orr had it stripped from behind. Good defensive play. And Wes Matthews running on the break, got the good return pass, or the good pass from Daly, we should say, and put Chicago lead back at 11.
And that's where you have defense making instant offense for the Chicago Bulls. The good block from Green and the layup by Wes Matthews.
Louis Orr found himself free. Can the 15-footer. The Knicks are down by 9. 10:05 to play in the first half.
That was Quentin Daly.
Quentin Daly with that marvelous touch of his, great stroke, and it's 41-30 the Bulls.
Well, one thing about Daly is that he isn't going to quit shooting. He had missed about 3 or 4 in a row. That time he pulled up, hit the 15-footer. That could be just the thing to get him started, and boy, he is an excellent offensive player. Good hands by Daly that time.
And now the Knicks are 13 down, and Hubie Brown may just want to stop things and talk it over. And he does.
Timeout, New York.
Knicks call a timeout. 9:23 to play in the first half. And they trail the Chicago Bulls by 13. We'll be back in a moment.
Other NBA teams over.
All right, the Knicks down by 13. Kenny Bannister back in the game for Louis Orr. Higgins with a rebound. Matthews to Corzine. And Corzine gets the jumper down. The Knicks are 15 down. That's their biggest deficit of the game. With 9 minutes to play in the first half, down 45-30. Kenny Bannister with a jump shot over Green.
What has happened to the Knicks here in the first half is that they have been limited to only 1 shot, and it's enabled the Chicago Bulls to get into the transition game, and they've been excellent at it so far. As Corzine just hit a little turnaround jumper right in front of James Bailey.
Corzine now has 5 points. He's hit 2 in a row, and the Knicks are 15 down. Foul on Bannister.
See, that time Darrell Walker did not show any patience whatsoever. He tried to get the ball. The play was starting to get the ball down to Bannister. The defense sloughed off, and instead of swinging the ball from strong side to weak side, Walker decided to put up the shot, and Bannister, out of frustration, just picked up an offensive foul.
Chicago by 15. Quentin Daly lost the ball. Grunfeld lost it trying to save it. Check it, that was Cummings. Cummings back in the game. Cummings in the game with Bernard King back in now. Sparrow came in for Walker. Bannister stays in. And Carter.
Still kind of wet.
8:10 to play in the first half, and the Knicks are down by 15.
That's still great.
See, Corzine is off now. Got that little jumper from Matthews in the break. Then he hit one underneath, and now he feels that everything he's going to throw up is going to go in the last three halves.
And he's not a bad shooter, as you see Bernard King and Rod Higgins really going at it up under the hoop. And he walked.
Bannister traveled. Corzine. Now Lockery's back against illegal defense was called. Illegal defense before the Bannister turnover was called.
Wow.
That's their first
And that is a break for the Knicks. So the Knicks will get the ball out of bounds on the side and get another opportunity to see if they can score. Over the back by Bannister. Luckily, they didn't call a foul.
And the Knicks down by 17. Chicago can make it more. There's Corzine again. Dave Corzine's hit 4 in a row. And the Knicks are down by 19 points.
Well, I love it when players get hot. Corzine just runs to that spot now and puts it up on the fast break as the Knicks call another timeout.
And a timeout is called from Madison Square Garden. This is New York Knicks basketball.
Well, Jim, here you see Dave Corzine coming on the break. Now, he had gotten that spot a couple of times, and now here, hey, he's running around. He's giving everybody high fives. He says, oh, I love it when you're hot. You know, it doesn't matter if you're a big guy or a small guy, and you see Bill Cartwright there. Hopefully the Knicks will get him back, but when you get hot, you like it. You know, big guys, they love it most of all. He's ready right now to go sell popcorn if he can.
Corzine played at DePaul. He broke George Mikan's scoring records at DePaul. They had some big games, especially against Notre Dame. In fact, he played against Woolridge. They had some battles in college. Knicks can't buy a hoop. And Chicago can't do anything wrong. Yes! And Green is fouled.
Man, the way Chicago is hitting the defensive boards, limiting the Knicks to only one shot, they really look like the Boston Celtics. What they've been able to do is grab the rebound, kick it out to the guard, and be able to get a three-lane fast break and a good opportunity to score every time down. And that time Green was fouled by Sparrow. And you see Sidney Green, who really has been coming off the bench the first 5 or first 6 games, is the second leading rebounder, and he is developing into a real good player.
He's looking a lot friskier now than he did, even in the preseason game or any of last year's game. He looks like he's really ready to play.
Well, it takes some players time to know what they can do and what they cannot do in the NBA, and Sidney Green has been one of those players. And he's also just picked up a foul accidentally against Ken Bannister, just accidentally tripped him.
Fouled by Sidney Green. His second personal
2 fouls on Sidney Green.
Chicago's second team foul.
2 team fouls in Chicago. Knicks are down by 20 points. 6:56 to play in the first half. Bernard King, he's been the whole show. Sparrow's wide open, a 3-point shot. Going for the rebound. Bothered Corzine enough, and Dave knocked it out of bounds. Knicks will have it in.
And one of the very few times that the Knicks have been able to get to the offensive boards, and right there you just saw an offensive pick which negates the inbound pass, so Chicago gets the ball back and a turnover for the Knicks.
That's his second personal foul.
It's not been a good first half for the Knicks. Matthews to Daly, looking for the hot man Corzine, and he's fouled. They're playing a Corzine now like he's Jordan.
Well, why not? He has the hot hand, and that time he got the real good position on Pat Cummings, received the ball on the baseline, started to make his move as Cummings went for the steal, and Pat ended up with the foul. Corzine is at the free throw line. One of the better free throw shooters for a big man, Dave Corzine, shooting the first of 2.
All right, Chicago by 21. Corzine off the bench for 10 points. Bannister with a rebound. The Knicks down by 21. Basket is good and a foul. Higgins fouled Bernard King.
Bernard King jockeying for position down low with Rod Higgins. Receives the ball from Butch Carter right there. There's a little push as he starts with his shot. 2 points by Bernard King. That's what you call continuation. That's also what you call physical basketball by an offensive player, Bernard King.
16 for King. The Knicks trail by 18. Matthews dribbled it off his foot. Nice release by Bannister. The Knicks running 3-on-3 now. 6:10 to play in the first half. Knicks need a run. And a travel by Cummings.
And you notice when Pat Cummings started to make his move, there were 3 Chicago Bulls around him, which forced the turnover. The Knicks really do not look good in their half-court game so far in the game.
I'll tell you something else. The second unit for Chicago has played well enough to allow some of their other players loose ball foul on Green. That'll be
I don't know if that's on Green or not. It's on Bernard King. Sidney Green really was not blocked out by Ken Bannister. When Daly put up the shot, Green showed his jumping ability, went up for the ball, and as he started up to shoot, Bernard King fouled him. So Green will shoot 2 free throws, as we saw Bernard actually trying to shake off another little mini injury to those fingers of his.
But the point I was going to make was that this second unit's played so well for Chicago that Kevin Locker has been afforded the luxury of allowing Woolridge. Well, Jordan just came back in, but Woolridge and Caldwell Jones and Steve Johnson are getting more and more rest time. And this unit's done very well. They have a 20-point lead. They've moved it up to 20 points. Cummings doesn't get it. Bannister does, and a foul called against Chicago.
A loose ball foul. Charge against Rod Higgins is 6.
Rod Higgins with a foul.
Chicago has 14 fouls.
14 fouls for Chicago. No foul shots. Knicks are 20 down. 2 men on Bernard King, so he gets it to Sparrow. And he gets this 3-point shot. Murray tried that a couple of minutes ago, but this time he made it good. 55-38, Chicago by 17.
Jim, I'm going to comment on that last play, but after this, as Sparrow comes up with the steal.
Long rebound came to Bernard King. Sparrow's hit 2 in a row. The Knicks have cut the Chicago lead to 15. No basket. Corzine was fouled. That's going to be 4, I believe, on Cummings. 4 on Cummings, so James Bailey will come to get Cummings.
Well, what I would like to see the Knicks do, and I hope people don't think I'm second-guessing, coaching strategy. When Bernard King has been double-teamed, Sparrow has made the pass and gone across the court to the 3-point area. I would prefer seeing Rory give him the ball, give Bernard the ball, and if his man goes down to double-team, go to the hoop and receive the ball back for a layup. That, to me, is the quickest way of breaking up a defense like that, instead of depending upon that 3-point shot, because that's not a high percentage shot, even though you're down. So that was the comment that I wanted to make.
All right, Bulls by 16, and they call that a good block by Corzine. Traveled by Woolridge.
Well, the block was by Michael Jordan, who had the great angle on that block, and Corzine couldn't jump that high.
I thought that was Corzine.
Well, Corzine was in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And that's Bannister over the top.
See, that to me is what Chicago really have. They have live bodies, and these guys are extremely good jumpers. Here you're going to see Sparrow on the way to the hoop. Now there's Corzine, but you see Jordan come over from the weak side and make the block. Now, don't give credit to Dave Corzine. He can't jump that high, but he did a good. But he did a good job of actually making Rory change his shot.
I'd like to see that again if we could at some point. No pressure on the guys, Leon or whatever, but I'd like to see that again to see, because now it's a thing with me and Butch on who got that shot. I'm not putting Corzine in Bill Russell's category, you understand.
I know you're not.
But I think he got that. 57-40, the Bulls. Corzine, by the way, has scored 11 points in the game. Kenny Bannister now, he can shoot this little jump shot. And he's called for a travel.
See, he would have been better off, Bannister would have been, if he had just taken the jumper right at the head of the circle then. But instead, he tried to get too close, and as he made his pivot, he did walk. Or, in that situation, try swinging the ball.
What a shot. What a shot by Mr. Jordan. I have a feeling we're going to say that a lot in the next 15 years. What a shot by Mr. Jordan. 59-40 the Bulls.
You already have him playing 15 years in the league. You might not want to play that long.
Trent Tucker hits the jump shot. The Knicks are down by 17.
Now, that was good ball movement by the Knicks that time. Swinging the ball to the open man. In that case, it was Tucker. He was wide open for the little 15-foot jump shot. That's what you have to do against double-teaming defense.
Jordan, one-on-one basketball. Bailey with the rebound. Off to the running Bernard King. Great pass. King to Tucker, and now the Knicks are 15 down. Now, I know what Kevin Lockery's thinking now. This game isn't over yet. I don't want one-on-one basketball out here. That's exactly. Chicago's been putting on a show here, and meanwhile, the Knicks have cut it from 23 down to 15, Butch.
That's right, and Kevin immediately called a 20-second timeout to regroup the troops, so to speak, as Chicago Bulls were going too much one-on-one. And when you go one-on-one, this is what happens. The defensive rebound by Bailey. Bailey kicking it out to Bernard King. Now watch Bernard. He goes to the middle of the court, makes a nice bounce pass over to Trent Tucker, and you saw the Knicks were on a 3-on-1 fast break. And when you go one-on-one, the court isn't balanced, and normally those things happen, a fast break basket by your opponent.
Well, Chicago is playing well as a team. They had everybody in the game. They had Corzine in the game, and Woolridge, and then all of it in Green. All of a sudden, you know, now Michael's a great player, but you know this crowd loves him here, and I think he feels an obligation to put on a show every once in a while. I'll tell you, I like to see him play myself, but Kevin, I'm a spectator. I'm not the coach or his coach. Now there's Orlando Woolridge hitting that jump shot, and he's played a tremendous first half. Woolridge 16 points. Sparrow was right there, could not get it down. He was in traffic. And a foul call underneath.
Boy, that is excellent offensive board work by the Chicago Bulls. That time, getting down the floor, Bernard King made a tremendous block on the shot, but you saw Sidney Green continue to work the offensive boards, and he ended up getting fouled. And again, I can't say too much about Chicago's ability to limit the Knicks to only one shot. That's the reason why they have been into their transition game.
Sidney Green has scored 7 and has done a good all-around job for Kevin Lockery here. Bailey with the rebound, and the Knicks are down by 18. Jordan knocked it away from Trent Tucker, and the Knicks will have it inbounds. Stay tuned at halftime. We've got a terrific piece put together on Michael Jordan at halftime, plus we'll discuss the first half highlights, Butch and I. You want to stay tuned. Sam Rosen will be here to recap for you in his inimitable style. And there's Steve Johnson back in the game again, replacing Sidney Green, who, as we said, did a good job for Mr. Lockery. Knicks are 18 down. Watley on Sparrow. No one on Tucker yet. Blows by and now gets it to Bailey. James Bailey catches it from the outside, and the Knicks are 16 down.
James Bailey standing 15 feet from the hoop. His man had sloughed off to try to help out. He received the ball and hit the little 15-foot jumper. Not a bad shot by James Bailey.
Bailey comes out to play Corzine now. And Jordan lost the ball. Now, that was caused really by Bailey coming out to play Corzine. He overplayed him, and the pass was a little off the mark.
You're exactly right. You're not bad for a play-by-play man.
For a play-by-play guy. Bernard King spinning inside with that quick release. What a first step. And the Knicks are 14 down.
And Bernard is so quick. He got by and put the shot up with his right hand. As you saw, Michael Jordan right there out of control, and he's going to end up getting fouled.
That was a bad release pass there. The Knicks would have had it going. Bailey the foul.
See, those things happen, especially when you're like a half a step slow. And what happened was you saw Jordan out of control. There you see Bannister trying to make the outlet pass. He didn't fake it. Woolridge ended up with it. You see Bannister and Bailey coming back. Jordan knew he was going to be fouled, and he was.
Knicks are 14 down now. Minute 24. So they've cut into this Chicago lead by 9. Chicago led by 23.
Chicago has done a good job of putting the Knicks back in the game because they have been more one-on-one and more out of control than they were at the first quarter.
All right, Sparrow with the ball. Kenny Bannister.
Out of his range.
Not a good shot by Ken. Sometimes after players have made a mistake, they try to make up right away.
Well, he just made 2 mistakes because he went over to try to block the shot that time, and Watley just gave it to his man, and he made 2 mistakes on one play, Ken Bannister.
65-48. Sparrow, they want to get it to Bernard. Sparrow's wide open. Watley came over to double down on Bernard King, so Sparrow hit the open shot. And the Knicks are down by 15, 65-50, 39 seconds to play in the first half.
But again, if Sparrow goes to the hoop, he ends up shooting a layup instead of a 20-footer.
Enos Watley hit the shot, 67-50. Assist to Michael Jordan.
Nice shake and bake move by Jordan then as he got the ball over to Watley.
Good move by Bannister, but he just couldn't spin it off the glass and in. And Kenny's had a tough first half. So the Knicks, 67-50, Chicago, 4 seconds. Michael Jordan.
Hand check on Rory Sparrow that time.
Fouled by Rory Sparrow.
Sparrow fouled Jordan with 3 seconds to go.
Michael Jordan on the line. 2 shots.
2 shots for Michael Jordan. Stands at the foul line with 13 points. King has 18 for the Knicks. Woolridge has 16, and now Michael Jordan has 14. Check it, 15 for Michael Jordan. 2 seconds. And that's it. That's the end of the first half. The Knickerbockers are down by 19 at halftime. Stay tuned. We'll have a special in-depth look at Air Jordan, Mr. Jordan of the Bulls, also some highlights, and Sam Rosen will be along. So you stay tuned. Score at halftime. Knicks trail 69-50. You're watching Knicks basketball.
Time to a loud chorus of boos from a big crowd on hand here at Madison Square Garden. And the Knicks just did not play well in that first half at all. Never in the game got the first basket. Then the Bulls came up with 9 straight points. Bulls outscoring the Knicks 17-4 to open up an 11-point lead. They led by 11 at the end of the quarter, 36-25. And then the bench for the Chicago Bulls coming through. Dave Corzine led a 14-2 spurt, hitting 4 straight baskets. And the Bulls had opened up a 20-plus lead in that first half. They now lead by 19 at halftime, 69-50. Michael Jordan performing the way he was billed to be. Michael Jordan doing everything on the floor. And have you ever seen a player excite a crowd the way he does just by touching the basketball? Orlando Woolridge continuing his fine play, and a good effort off the bench by Sidney Green. So the Chicago Bulls are showing depth up front. New York Knicks not giving Bernard King any help. He has 18 points at halftime. Once again, not much support from the backcourt. 7 points scored by Rory Sparrow in the second quarter. But again, overall, New York Knicks not getting help for Bernard King. So offensively, Knicks have been hurting. Pat Cummings is on the bench with 4 personal fouls. That could be a serious problem in the second half. A long way to come back for the New York Knicks, but as they showed on the road trip, they have the ability to come back, and they played especially well in the third quarters of the games on the road. We'll see what happens in the second half. The man we've been talking about both on the pregame show and here at halftime is a man who's become an instant star in the NBA. That's Michael Jordan out of North Carolina. Michael Jordan stepping in with the Chicago Bulls and really turning this team around. He's become an instant star, a fine player, a man who can play both up front, as you saw in the first half, at the small forward position, and a fine shooter in the backcourt as well. Michael Jordan out of North Carolina, the highlight of tonight's halftime feature. We had a chance to talk with Michael Jordan when the Chicago Bulls were in preseason play.
June 19th, 1984, the NBA draft at Madison Square Garden's Felt Forum. The #1 pick, Akeem Olajuwon. #2, Sam Bowie. The third player chosen was probably the most exciting, Michael Jordan of North Carolina. His brilliant play in the Olympics, leading the U.S. to a gold medal, and his performance in the NBA preseason and the opening weeks of the regular season has a lot of people thinking perhaps he should have been the #1 draft pick. Nevertheless, one thing is certain, he has a bright future ahead of him.
Let's hope so. You know, professional level is very hard work, and I think I'm dedicated enough to work hard and try to be the best basketball player I can. And you know, it's good to get comments from everyone, and that's inspiring to go out and keep working hard.
How's the transition been from college to the Olympic experience and now to the NBA?
Well, I think it's been pretty easy. You know, I think the Olympic was kind of pre-professional level. It was fast-paced, it was physical, and that's just the type of NBA game is. And you know, coming on this level is a brand new start for me, and I have to start from the bottom and work my way up. So, you know, I think the hard work is ahead of me, and I'm willing to take on that challenge and go out and play the best I can.
After the Olympics and the glory and wearing the gold medal, was it difficult to come down from that high?
It was. I think the Olympics was a big dream come true for me. You know, a lot of players don't get the chance to represent the United States, and I did, and I was very happy to do that. And now I'm just coming off of that, and I know it's reality now, and it's in the past, and I have to look forward to the future. But it's going to be some fond memories, and I have to get ready for my professional career.
Michael Jordan is a 6'5" swingman who has shown he can play small forward, point guard, or shooting guard. He's a winner who's played under different yet highly successful coaches. The calm tactician Dean Smith was his coach at North Carolina, and the hard-to-please Bobby Knight guided him in the Olympics. Jordan was able to adapt to their dissimilar styles and learn a lot from both.
Well, I think both of those coaches had a big influence on me. I think Coach Smith more than Coach Knight because I played for him 3 years. And, you know, I think Coach Smith helped me out fundamentally. And Coach Knight really just reinstated that. And he really helped me concentration-wise. And I think right now coming into the league, I met all my extremes of coaches. I think Coach Knight was the hard type of coach. He really wants best for his players, and he used different types of methods to get it out of you. And Coach Smith is the mild type, and he really used psychology to get it out of you. So I don't think anyone can go to that extreme either way.
How about Coach Lockery in the pros?
I think he fits right in between. He's sometimes he can be like Coach Knight, and sometimes he can be like Coach Smith, and I'm very happy for that. And you know, I really getting to know Coach Lockery a great deal, and I really admire his coaching ability.
What did they tell you they expected from you? Certainly the fans of Chicago have been hungry for a winner for a long time. What are they expect you to be the savior. What about the coach and your fellow teammates?
Well, naturally the expectation is going to be high, and I guess the coach has been reminding me that, hey, it's a team basketball game, and you really don't have to take burden on yourself to try to go out and do everything yourself. And I kind of picked that up. You know, I'm not trying to do everything for myself. I just think that right now the best thing for me is to try to fit in with this ball club and try to mingle and become a winning team. And so far it's been working out. You know, I get advice from each coach and staff about the style of professional basketball, and I'm picking up little things as I play other basketball players, and you know, I'm getting knowledge of the professional style of game.
Good luck to you, and I expect that Rookie of the Year honors would not be out of line for you.
Well, that's good if we're winning. I mean, if the team wins, then I like to accept those individual awards with greatness, but you know, I really like to see the team do well before I can do well.
A quick look at the halftime statistics. You get a look at the shooting statistics. Chicago shooting 59% from the floor. The Knicks just better than 42. Back to Jim Carvelis and Butch Beard for the start of the second half.
All right, thank you very much, Sam. Here's Woolridge now in Chicago on the attack. Jordan. Pass knocked away by Orr. Intended for Steve Johnson from Jordan, and the Knicks come down for the first time in the second half.
Maybe that's a good omen for the Knicks, getting a good defensive play and hopefully getting their offense together.
Bernard King in traffic. He's got 20. The Knicks are down by 17. And we played 35 seconds of the second half.
Now that's something Bernard King hasn't done much here at the early part of the season, is move without the ball in a set offense situation. That time he was moving without the ball and scored.
Woolridge ducked inside, forced that up, was fouled.
Followed by Trent Tucker.
Trent Tucker the foul.
Third personal foul.
3 fouls on Tucker.
And Woolridge came off of a pretty good pick by Steve Johnson that time. That was the reason why he was free, and Trent Tucker tried to help Bernard King out. And Trent picked up the foul as Woolridge will shoot 2 free throws. You know, there are a lot of Notre Dame players around, and one player who hasn't been in this arena for quite a while is Toby Knight, and I wonder if he came to watch some of the Notre Dame products.
So Chicago picks up the ball after the second missed foul shot. They lead the Knicks by 18, 70-52. Jim Carvelis and Butch Beard, Madison Square Garden. Michael Jordan. And it's a 20-point Chicago lead, 72-52. That's 17 for Air Jordan.
And there's not much you can do as a defensive player. You play behind him, he just shoots a turnaround jumper and then comes up with the steal on the defensive end.
That's a good play by Trent Tucker to knock away from Jordan from behind. 10:36 to play in the third. The Knicks down by 20. Offensive foul called against Chicago.
Followed by
Caldwell Jones.
This is second personal foul.
2 on Caldwell Jones. The Knicks going with Cummings, Bernard King, and Orr up front. Tucker, Sparrow, the back line. Lewis Orr. Rebound Woolridge. Enos Watley with the ball. Michael Jordan makes it look easy. 74-52. The Knicks down by 22.
And Jim, that time he was the 4th man in on that break, as the Knicks will call another 20-second timeout. Michael Jordan was the 4th man on the break. Watley heard him hollow probably. That's what you do. You communicate when you're running the break like that. He probably said, coming right, received the ball, dribbled to his left, pulled up and hit a 15-foot jump shot. Hubie calls another 20-second timeout, mainly because I think he's more upset with his offense. On the offensive end, the Knicks seem to have no cohesiveness at all, and that's what is upsetting him. And also another thing that has been a surprise to me these first 6 ball games is that the Knicks aren't playing good defense. Last year they only averaged giving up 103 points, and this year they are giving up a lot of points. As a matter of fact, defensively they're giving up 114.
It's a very important game. The Edmonton Oilers are trying to set a record tonight in the National Hockey League. They're trying to go, well, the Montreal Canadiens many years ago went 11 wins and 3 losses through the first 14 games at the start of the season to set a record. Edmonton's 11 wins, 2 ties, and they go tonight against the Devils, and we're going to have that for you right after this game.
And it would be interesting if the Devils could beat Edmonton, because last year Gretzky said that they were a Mickey Mouse organization, as Bernard King comes back with a hanging layup.
I can't believe he made that. You know, 4 guys rotated over on him, and somehow he got it up and in, and the Knicks are down by 20.
That's because when he went back door, he just hung in the air. He has that ability to do that.
And Steve Johnson got a pretty pass inside to convert, and it's 76-54. The Bulls' lead is still 22. Bernard King has 22, the Knicks 54 points.
Well, there's Bernard King again getting a good lob pass from Pat Cummings, and Bernard does such a great job of getting the defensive man on his hips, and that's what he did then and scored.
24 for Bernard King, but the big number is Chicago leads by 20. Enos Watley. And it's 78-56, the Bulls by 22.
Now, what I was impressed on that play with was with Steve Johnson. He saw the double team come to him and got rid of it right away, and Watley ended up scoring. And that's what you have to do when you're playing good offensive basketball.
Steve Johnson that time was called for the foul as he got over the top of Cummings.
You know, last year Steve Johnson in the trade for Reggie Theus was booed and almost run out of Chicago, but this year I know he must be a happy man playing on a real good ball club and a ball club that has possibilities of getting into playoffs.
I think it's more than possibilities with this club. They may give Detroit and Milwaukee a run.
Well, they came up with their first victory in Detroit, and Johnson just walked that time. But they came up with their first victory last night in Detroit. The Chicago Bulls did for the first time in 3 years. So you might have a point there.
All right, the Knicks 22 down. Good play by Bernard King to knock it away from Woolridge.
See, the Knicks are sloppy on the offensive end, turning the ball over. That time Bernard hustled back and knocked the ball away because Woolridge would have had a sure dunk or layup in the transition game.
Michael Jordan on the inbounds pass, and what a beautiful move by Michael Jordan. It's 80-56 Chicago by 24 points. I believe that's their biggest lead.
And believe me, that wasn't a set play. He went without the ball, and then he hung in the air and put it in for 2 points.
Bernard King off the offensive board, and he's fouled.
Fouled by Steve Johnson. That's Johnson.
4 fouls on Steve Johnson and Bernard King, working off the offensive glass that time, trying to follow up on the missed shot by Tucker, and Hubie Brown's had a long night.
It really has been a long night for Hubie Brown and his coaching staff, as well as the New York Knicks. But I have a feeling if they try to apply a little more pressure here in the second half, they can possibly get back into the game, because Chicago demonstrated in the first half they'll let you back in the game by playing a lot of one-on-one basketball. It's just up to the Knicks to try to see if they can more or less just suck it up on the defensive end and see what happens.
Tucker traveled. The Knicks trail by 23.
Nice offensive rebound by Trent Tucker. He had made a little head fake, got the Chicago Bull up in the air, but he moved his feet and he was called for the walk.
Knicks are going to double team. And Caldwell Jones ended up with the ball, took it to the hoop very nicely, thank you, and the Bulls lead by 25.
Well, maybe the Knicks are going to have to give up the press too, because the Bulls really broke that without any trouble.
Bernard King with a quick move to the basket. He's fouled. The basket counts by King. 27 for Bernard King.
On the replay, coaches tell you if you go out to guard a guy, don't give him the baseline. There you see Green giving Bernard King the baseline, and once he went baseline, he was fouled by Woolridge, who came over for the block. Bernard King just completed a three-point play with the free throw. He's been the whole show offensively for the New York Knicks.
Chicago hasn't missed a shot in this period, neither has Bernard King. Nice play by Orr, but Chicago got it back, and they still haven't missed a shot.
Well, right now, Chicago is smoking. Everything that they're doing is coming up roses, regardless what the Knicks do on the defensive end.
Trent Tucker got it to Louis Orr. Soft jump shot by Louis Orr. Knicks down by 22. 7 minutes to play in the third. 7 out of 7 for Chicago from the field in the third period. Watley almost over and back. Did a nice job of going without the ball, and Caldwell Jones did a nice job of getting it to him, and the Knicks are down by 24 again.
Well, that's what I was talking about. When you're double teamed and your man goes over the double team, I think it's better to break the defense down by just going down the middle. That's what Woolridge did, and Caldwell Jones got him the ball.
Louis Orr did a nice job of faking the weak side help and laying it up easily. The Knicks are down by 22 again. Great shooting percentages for both clubs in this period, but the Knicks haven't been able to dent the Chicago lead because Chicago has not missed a shot. And Woolridge Woolridge is fouled by Bernard King. Kevin Lockery calls timeout. His team has gone 5:55 in this period without missing a shot from the field, and his Bulls lead by 22. We'll be back in a moment. There's some great shooting percentages here. 100% isn't too bad. And the Knicks 67%. Now here they come out shooting 67% in the first half of the third period, and they lose 3 points. They lose 3 points, right? They were down by 19. Now they're down by 22. Woolridge at the foul line. He's got 21 points. Leading Chicago in scoring average with 24. His highest game was 30.
And this has actually been done without the Chicago's third leading scorer, Quentin Daly. He didn't have a good first half at all. So you'd hate to think what would have happened if he could have gotten his act together.
Louis Orr ducked under and drew the foul.
Fouled by Sidney
Green.
That's Green.
And you see then, Jim, the Knicks did something that they haven't done all season long, really, when you think about it. That time they swung the ball from strong side to weak side. There was a down pick for Louis Orr. He was wide open. He had the defense come to him, got him in the air, drew the foul. Now he shoots 2 free throws. That's what you have to do, because if you try to concentrate on getting the ball to one spot, the defense in the NBA will definitely make you put up a bad shot.
Louis Orr, 11 points. And now the Knicks trail by 21. Time remaining, 5:50 in the third. Knick pressure now. Followed by Trent Tucker. And now the Knicks are 19 down.
68.
No trap this time yet. Tucker on Jordan. Wadley a miss, and Green over the top with another foul. That's 4 on Sidney Green.
And Louis Orr did a good job of blocking out, and Green went over his back. I think Wadley was just a little out of his range when he put that shot up, so this could be the spot or the point in the game where the Knicks are going to make their run. As you see Daly coming in,
Green goes out, so Jordan goes to forward again.
Shooting 2.
Louis Orr misses his first foul shot of the night. 12 points. 13 for Orr. The Knicks are down by 18. 5:15 to play in the third.
And here's the matchup that everybody came to see, Jordan against King.
Michael Jordan shooting the jump shot. And now let's see what he does against, well, Woolridge is on Bernard King on the other end, so that's not the matchup. Cummings hitting a jump shot around Jones, and it's 89-71. The Knicks trail by 18 again.
Two-man basketball by the Chicago Bulls. It's going to be Daly and Jones.
Play by Sparrow as he got through to knock it away from Woolridge.
If Jones had been a little quicker with the pass, Woolridge would have ended up with a dunk, but Sparrow rotated on the defense, knocked the ball out of bounds.
5 seconds to shoot for Chicago now.
And a foul. That's what you call getting bailed out.
Well, that's what QB Brown talked about. One of the things he talked about in the coach's corner, he talked about mistakes, and he says, you know, fouling guys with 2 seconds.
The little things he talked about, and that is a little thing. That's the difference in winning a game and losing a game, and also getting one of your main players out of the game.
That's right. That's his 5th foul.
The 5th foul on Cummings, and Bailey comes in for him. He has foul trouble himself as Caldwell Jones shoots 2 free throws.
Caldwell Caldwell Jones.
You know, Caldwell Jones is from a very good basketball family. Caldwell and his brother Charles is on this particular ball club. Last night, Major Jones was with the Detroit Pistons, and they had a brother by the name of Wilbur Jones who played for Hubie Brown with the Kentucky Colonels, and he was also a good tennis player. I don't know, he used to take me to school, so to speak.
For the second time tonight, Chicago gets in the lane before the foul shot goes up. This time it was Jordan. Knicks are trailing by 19. 4:21 to play in the third period. Still a lot of time remaining. And there's an opposite foul on the Knicks. Bernard King.
I don't care if it is, but it's still the right concept. Moving the basketball and moving yourself. Again, the Knicks swinging the ball from strong side to weak side. Just so happens Bernard King ended up picking up an offensive foul.
It's 4 fouls on Bernard King as well, Butch. Now the Knicks trailing by 19. 4:05 to play. Third period. Jordan against King. It's a tough shot. Bernard King leads the Knicks in steals. James Bailey tipped it in. And Matthews got one on the other end.
And that's what you would call a spirit breaker or a back breaker. James Bailey going to the offensive board, tipping Bernard King's missed shot in, and then the Bulls coming right straight back with the layup from Wes Matthews. That was partially blocked right there by Woolridge.
Here's Michael Jordan. Bailey a miss, and Michael Jordan a follow-up jam. What a jam by Jordan. And it turned down the partisan crowd here who appreciates a great talent, even if he isn't wearing a white uniform. From Madison Square Garden, this is New York Knicks basketball. At 5-6. All right, back to the action. The Knicks trailing by 21 points. Bernard King buried the jump shot. 94-75, the Bulls by 19. Jordan went floated right around James Bailey. Now that looked like the doctor right there.
It really did. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure Bailey thought he had a charging foul, and Jordan just simply jumped in the air, floated right past him, flipped it in, fingertip roll, as a foul was called on Quentin Daly against Bernard King.
John McEnroe on vacation.
For 21 days, right?
There's the greatest tennis player in the world.
No question.
Absolutely. And a great Knick fan, by the way.
Well,
not here a lot.
Not only that, he can play a guitar here. Did you know that?
No.
Not a bad guitar player.
No.
Yeah, wants to be in a rock group. Can you believe that?
How'd you know that?
I read it in a magazine. I'll read anything.
I guess. 96-77. Bulls by 19. We got a lot of celebrities here tonight. We may show you a few more before it's over.
Might as well. Walker
knocked it away from Quentin Daly. Butch Carter got it to Bernard King to the basket. Bernard King with a little bit of magic. 34 for Bernard King. And the Knicks are down now by 17.
You know, the great players, they'll pass up a shot to get a closer shot. That time King did. He had a little 10-footer, but instead he chose to go to the hoop and he scored. Not again.
Yes, again. 98-79, the Bulls by 19.
Man, when he starts to the hoop like that, when the Knicks are trying to double team, that's just like the Red Sea opening up.
Walker a miss. Bernard King lucky he didn't get a foul there coming over the top. Woolridge with the jam. And now it's Chicago by 21 again. 1:36 to go in the third period.
And Wes Matthews saw him all the way on that play as he grabbed the defensive rebound, led the fast break down the middle, got it over to Woolridge for the stuff.
Darrell Walker knocked away by Quentin Daly.
1st and 10.
Good hustle by Bailey, and then he lost it, or bad pass. And the long pass for Woolridge just out of range. You know, Chicago's had a resurgence in professional sports. And the Cubs almost got there. The Bears are in first place, and this Chicago team has really come on. So the Windy City looking up sports-wise.
Filling their oats. The only team that's been bad for them this year has been the White Sox.
All right, Grunfeld in the game now as Bernard King gets a rest. Bernard goes to the bench with 34 of the Knicks' 79 points. Kenny Bannister. Nice move by Ken Bannister around Woolridge. 181 now, the Bulls by 19. That's 2. Quentin Daly. Well, 281, Bulls by 21. They led by 19 at halftime.
And if Quentin Daly can get into the offensive flow, it really can be a spectacular night for the Bulls as Jordan has come up with another steal.
Michael Jordan puts on a show.
I think the crowd says it all, Jim.
Bad pass. Well, this has not been one of the Knicks' better efforts.
It really hasn't been. And again, Michael Jordan at that time forced the bad pass from Ernie Grunfeld as the crowd is still standing.
He not only inspires the crowd, but even more importantly, he inspires his team. See, this is a different team with a lot of the same players. I mean, you know, Woolridge was here last year, and so was Watley, and so was Steve Johnson, and so was Quentin Daly. But all of a sudden, they all look better, don't they? That's because of Michael Jordan.
Well, the great players will make players better. There's no question about that as we have the end of the third quarter.
And Chicago with a big lead. At the end of 3, the Bulls lead 104-81. You're watching Knicks basketball from Madison Square Garden.
Forget immediately following tonight's Knickerbocker basketball, it's the Devils and Edmonton Oilers at the Byrne Meadowlands Arena. Tomorrow night, more hockey action. The Rangers take on the Islanders, set for the 4th quarter. Now back to Jim Carvelis and Butch Beard.
All right, thank you, Sam. 104-81, the Knicks trail by 23. We start the 4th period. Kenny Bannister with the basketball. Chicago playing some good defense tonight. Bailey a miss. Bannister did a good job to knock the release away, but it comes in the hands of Matthews and now to Michael Jordan. Kenny Bannister to the basket. Well, I'll tell you, he almost killed Steve Johnson. He really ran him down.
That is what you call an offensive foul. It also is what you call, I'm going to just go there regardless of who is standing there. Unbelievable. Here you're going to see Michael Jordan play the passing lane. Now he's going to say, well, here it is, showtime. Bam. You know, you almost missed it. Almost.
Right now, you know, remember early in the first period, as you have a look at Steve Johnson, we talked about the hands of Jordan. You know, there's a lot of people that can jump. The reason they can't do that, and only people like Dr. J and Jordan could do that, is because they can pound the ball, they can hold the ball so well in their hands.
That's true, and there you see the third quarter shooting by the Bulls. You imagine shooting 57% and still being out of the game by 23. That's 19,000 plus a here.
You know that Jordan is 14 for 19 from the field.
Is that all?
That's all. Matthews a miss. Bannister a rebound. Almost knocked Bailey over. 104-81. The Knickerbockers trailing by 23. James Bailey missed it. Bannister. And a block by Jordan. Kenny Bannister went up to jam the ball, and Michael Jordan rejected it.
Well, that time, and you're going to see Bannister on his way to the hoop. Now, the reason why Jordan blocked that, he had the angle. Not only that, he showed great strength.
Oh, no!
Corzine with a rebound. And here's Matthews with the ball. Nice pass to Daly from Matthews. And Bailey jams on the other end. 106-83. Chicago with 10:25 to play. Jordan, by the way, has scored 31 tonight. Bernard King on the bench with 34. Quentin Daly lost the ball. It's running 3-on-1. And Corzine has fouled Walker.
And I don't know if he fouled Darrell or not. I just think that pass from Butch Carter behind the back caught Darrell by surprise. He wasn't able to handle it as he went up for the shot. I think that he was actually bailed out by the official then. Let's see. We'll get an opportunity, I think. Here you see Carter on the break. Now watch the behind the back pass. You see Walker right there loses control. I don't know if it was a foul or not.
This program authorized by Madison Square Garden Productions Incorporated solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this event, including the imposition of a charge for viewing the program without the express written consent of Madison Square Garden Productions Incorporated, is prohibited. The announcers on this telecast were selected by Madison Square Garden Productions Incorporated. Knicks down by 22. Chicago. Quentin Daly changes and hits. A little double clutch by Quentin Daly. He's not had a great night for him, but he's one of the best shooters in the league. 8 points for Daly. I tell you, this club gets Greenwood back.
If they sign
Greenwood, they're going to really be. I mean, they look pretty good right now, but a guy like David Greenwood coming on this club.
You wonder whether or not that the Bull organization would think that Greenwood would mess up the chemistry. I know that Fred Carter also said that he was concerned with the fact that they needed a player who could rebound. And Greenwood is a rebounder, and he can also run the floor and block shots as well. So if they do bring him back, then it would be an outstanding ball club, as if it isn't already.
What's happened to Darrell Walker's
He's not
foul
bending on his knees. That's one thing.
19,252. Great crowd at the Garden.
And they've been entertained tonight. Even though it may be by the wrong ball club or the wrong individual, they've been entertained by that guy right there.
Michael Jordan. And it's 110-84 Chicago. Jordan now with 33 points. His pro high is 37.
Got him on the hook.
Hooking on Darrell Walker, hooking Matthews.
And he did.
Offensive foul charge against Darrell Walker. That's Walker's first personal foul.
Darrell Walker with a jam. 110-86 Chicago leads by 24. Bannister with the rebound. Released to Ernie Grunfeld.
Bannister has no business of putting the ball on the floor 20 feet from the hoop right there. If he receives the ball, he should give it back to the guard and then try to run an offensive set. Instead, he turns the ball over, and the Knicks sorely need as many shots as possible here in the fourth quarter, being down.
Watch you pushing.
3-second violation against Dave Corzine. Mike Cummings back in the game. Bannister out, Walker out, Sparrow in. And Jordan leaves the game. 33 points. Probably Michael's exit for the evening.
You may see him another 3 or 4 minutes before it's over.
I don't think so, Butch.
He's young. He can play all day.
I think he could play another game, but I think Kevin Lockery will rest him. They played last night, but they don't need him. And why risk hurting him? 110. Of course, he seems indestructible,
Well, that's
doesn't
the
he?
reason why he's young. I mean, he's being paid a lot of money to play. He likes to play.
Are you saying that he should stay in here for the rest of the game here, Coach?
No. Get a little rest. Come back with about 3 minutes to go. Let him play a couple more minutes and then get a standing ovation from the people.
Air ball. Rod Higgins, who can pump the jump shot, and it's 112.86. I don't think Greenwood's going to hurt the chemistry. He's going to give him another quality player, Butch. And you know, if you're going to go for a division crown, you can't have enough good basketball players.
Well, you can't have enough talent in this game, and definitely he would be an addition.
Grenfell hit the jump shot after the air ball, 112.88. 7:11 to play in the game. The Bulls are winning going away. Daly walk.
Timeout, New York.
Timeout call by the Knicks with 6:57 to play in the game, and the Bulls leading by 24. All right, Chicago with the ball. Here's the quick Mr. Matthews, and a foul. Wes Matthews. Wes Matthews, a native of Connecticut, went to the University of Wisconsin, was picked #1 by the Bullets. Bob Ferry picked him #1 a couple of years ago. That Chicago has 2 players that were #1 picks of the Bullets.
And the other one was Dave Corzine.
Corzine.
And Wes Matthews has played well tonight. He's actually playing for a spot on this ball club. I know that Ronnie Lester is on the injured list, and if Wes continues to play well, he may end up staying there.
A lot of assists, I think 7 last night and 10 points in the win over Detroit.
And he's played well tonight. He's done a good job of running the break. Only problem with Wes is that he gets out of control. He gets a little bit too enthused.
Yeah, he's got a lot of talent. He's really quick. Pat Cummings with a jump shot, and the Knicks trail by 23. Well, one of the celebrities we can't show you tonight just left, George Steinbrenner, the Yankees.
And another one who just exited was LT, Lawrence Taylor of the New York Giants. He's a outside linebacker, a basketball freak.
Wes Matthews with the jump shot. The Knicks are down by 25. Keith Hernandez is in the game tonight for the New York Mets, along with Ron Darling, Kelvin Chapman. Big crowd tonight, 19,252. Sparrow a miss, and then it was tipped in inadvertently by Rod Higgins. Bailey will get credit for the basket.
115.92.
That's something. I guess it's a block shot.
115.92. I agree with you, Butch. It was something. Butch Carter lays it in. And the Knicks are 21 down with 5:21 to play. Big night tonight for Chicago.
17.94.
Well, this is going to happen, Butch. You don't make excuses for losing like this.
No, you don't.
The Knicks ran into a buzzsaw tonight in the Chicago Bulls.
True, and I tell you, they are an impressive-looking ball club right now, the Chicago Bulls, but it is early in the year.
I think they're going to be a tough club all year long. Knicks, again, you don't want to make excuses. Most people know they've been beset by injuries. They played some tough games on the road. They lost some tough games. But you have to know that because they're undermanned, that some of these guys are getting tired early on. Bill Cartwright is working out with the club now. They expect him maybe Tuesday. He'll be a welcome addition to the Knicks, believe me.
Quentin Daly really hasn't found that jump shot. Again, he was open about 15 feet from the corner. He missed the shot. And then there was a foul over the back by the Chicago Bulls. Luckily for the Knicks, that Quentin Daly didn't get into the offensive show tonight. It's only been a Michael Jordan and Orlando Woolridge.
Well, he had 29 last night. They really didn't need him tonight. because Jordan came out buzzing with Woolridge and even Corzine off the bench.
Yes, in the second quarter. So it is an impressive ball club. It really is. It's a young ball club, too.
Cummings in the baseline. Nice move. Cummings has hit 3 in a row now. He's got 12.
Cummings made a nice little ball fake on Oldham then, and Oldham took it, let him go baseline. Then Cummings hit a reverse layup. It was a nice play by Cummings.
Rory Sparrow with a rebound, then he's fouled.
Is this garbage time?
Charged against Quinton.
Or do you call this garbage? That's French.
Kevin Lockery, Butch, now you can relate to this. Kevin Lockery, I don't think he's concerned about his club winning.
No,
he's concerned about his club getting sloppy here. He wants them to keep playing good basketball.
He wants them to keep the concentration and do the things that they did to get them the lead, and that's how you become a good ball club. And he also, by doing that, you get the killer instinct, and that means that you become a very good ball club. When you get a ball club down, you keep them down.
117-100 the Bulls. Jawan Oldham. Boy, in a game here late last year, Oldham came in and looked like Bill Russell. Remember that, Butch? He was blocking shots
and scoring, running on the break.
I think the Knicks tried to get him, too, in the offseason. Butch Carter missed it on the reverse sides, and he's fouled. Getty, maker of high-performance gasolines, wants to salute another star performance. And we're going to have our selection of tonight's Getty MVP of the game in a few moments. Right now, there's a timeout. 117 Bulls, 100 the Knickerbockers from Madison Square Garden. This is New York Knicks basketball. The great thing about the NBA, Butch, you can have a game like tonight and still make up. If you're in the NFL, you got to wait another week to play. The Knicks only have to wait till Saturday, take on Kansas City here. They'll be looking for their second win of the year. Then Washington comes to town Tuesday. Gus Williams moves in with the Bruise brothers. Then Saturday night, November the 17th, Cleveland Cavaliers come in. Well, a lot of games here at the Garden coming up.
And they have a chance to get themselves going by being here at home. Even though tonight really wasn't what you would call a great game by the Knicks after coming off of a long road trip.
And 2 foul shots missed by Butch Carter. The Knicks still trail by 17. 2:51 to play. Cummings with a rebound. Knocked away. Cummings got it back. Kenny Bannister to the basket. I don't know what that was. I think Kenny just lost the ball. The Knicks are 15 down, 117 to 102, 2:28. Eddie Lee Wilkins has had that foot put in a cast. He's going to be out for at least 5 games. When Daly a miss.
He just continues to put it up as Chicago runs the ball down with the help of Charles Jones knocking the ball away from Grunfeld.
Cartwright is working with the team. He worked out today, and he's expected for Tuesday, next Tuesday. I don't know. That was some hook by Oldham.
Jump hook. Jump hook is what they
Billy
call it.
McGill style.
Yes. Who's that guy? Boy, you're an old guy, you know. Billy the Hill McGill played right here with the Knicks.
Drafted by the Chicago Zephyrs.
Why don't you just take us down memory lane?
Same year they drafted Nelson and Dishingham.
Okay.
117-102 the Bulls. That was 62, Butch.
Thank you.
It wasn't that long ago.
I wasn't born then.
You were 28 in 62. A nice little turnaround by Caldwell Jones.
Charles Jones.
Excuse me, Charles Jones. They did that the last time they played.
Yes, we did.
119-102 the Bulls. 1:05 to play in the game. It's a block. Some big timber in there. Now travel. Bannister was in there with Charles Jones and Jawan Oldham. And the Getty most valuable player, who else? 34 points, Bernard King, Getty's most valuable player for the Knicks, giving performance miles ahead of himself. Tonight he receives Getty gift certificates at Getty. The proof is at the pump.
That was Rod Higgins.
Rod Higgins with a jump shot. Bernard King, who leads the league in scoring, for 32 a game. Bird is second. Gets 34 tonight. Charles Jones reaches over and fouls Ernie Grunfeld.
Ernie said, well, I'm going to pass up the little 15-footer on the baseline here and go to the hoop and try a reverse layup. Let me see if I can get fouled and go to the free throw line. That's about the only thing I have left to do tonight, and he got fouled. He shoots 2.
121 to 103. And Michael Jordan didn't come back in the game, Butch.
Well, you're right, Coach. You said that was his last little show that he was going to put on.
Until the next time, right? 121 to 104. Boy, he's a welcome addition to the league. What a great attraction he's going to be. What a great attraction he is already. He pumped life into a dying franchise. I'll tell you another reason that George Steinbrenner was here tonight, Coach.
He's part owner of the Chicago.
Got a piece of the Chicago Bulls.
He saw a piece of his action working tonight as you saw Wes Matthews turn the ball over, and you also saw Butch Carter on the play before make a good defensive move and then got his shot blocked as he went to the hoop.
Grunfeld from the outside. And the Knicks are 15 down with 5 seconds. Grunfeld fires to Cummings, going to the basket, and Matthews picked his pocket. The game is over. Chicago won it convincingly from the opening period on. Bulls winning. Stay with us. Butch and I will be back with some interviews and highlights. Sam Rosen will be around for sure. Final score, the Bulls 121 and the Knickerbockers 106. Stay tuned.